Hello everybody, my name is Luhrak, and today is the 28th of February 2024, which means I just have like my second day back since NFC, the second ever FurryCon I was on, and it was hecking awesome. I loved it so much. The freaking postcode flute that I still have right now is like all worth it. However, what I also feel is a burning desire to also have a fursuit now. And I decided to make it myself.
Yes, so I'm making a fursuit head, and I'm actually on a timer here because I wanted it until, year friends 28. Between NFC and EF, I wanted to make a whole fursuit head, and this is my journey through that. And I'll also at the bottom left have like always the date and also calculated how many days are left until year ferns.
Now, I'm not super incapable with my hands, I feel like. You know, I'm an artist. However, I've never really like done anything like with textiles. Also, I don't have really any materials, so I'll have to like get that all. I mean, I've watched some basic videos, get the general gist. Probably it's maybe not the best to like right away start with a head, but at the same time it's so important to me, I just want to start with it. Probably don't be me. So how will we start as an artist? Try and use the skills I already have, kind of like Photoshop them together and maybe do a little bit of a draw over if necessary. I'm no expert, and this should probably not be a tutorial on how to make a fursuit. Enjoy the struggle that is this weird video that will probably go over maybe even half year. Oh god.
So I thought for anybody who doesn't know me already, this is my Sona and the reference sheet. One thing I probably made the eyebrow. Usually, you know, I just like put them on top of everything, no matter what, if that makes sense in 3D space in my art. I think the muzzle I'll make a little bit shorter as well when I have the suit. It's gonna be cuter when it's shorter. I think that's also more practical. If you ever danced with a suitor before, anyway, it can be difficult, like the bandana. Like I can probably like get one. It should be a simple Sona. I think it should not be too much of an issue, and so we just have like a general look of it now. However, I'll do some more drawing over. Okay, so it gets very much the point across. I got all the colors correctly. I kind of got everything placed where it should be. Later in the evening of the first day, I had like a nice hot chocolate. Worked on this further. I think I'm quite happy with this looks from both angles. I did also see a video of somebody actually taking art of their character or like their thingy and then like drawing over it the different parts that they're gonna cut out of foam. I will probably do that with this then. Alright, day 2. My sickness is already a bit better, but actually the fun update. Here's my awesome haul. The big one, I asked my grandpa and they still had like a sewing machine, and I hope that I can operate it. I watched like so many fursuit making videos. There's like videos on like everything. But yeah, that's so nice just doing it in 2024. There's just so much stuff out there. I found a model head, and I just found it for free. So basically I'm telling you all of this just to say, hey, I'm gonna go and get some free head. Here we go. Here's the head. She looks a little bit used, I guess. I'm assuming the issue was like on a stand. I somewhat measured centimeters. Like this one goes from like chin around the head, the thickest like all over, like horizontally. All of the stuff I've gotten. Thick elastic band, which this is what I'm gonna start the base with to like kind of have a moving jaw. Brush dog clipper. I ordered some like first samples to hopefully decide what color exactly I'll take. The eye meshes. It's like circular little dots. I got that one from Etsy. I'll briefly hold it up here. That's where I got it from. The foam arrived. Got the foam now. Also, a non-tearable thread arrived, which, you know, I already tried out the machine. Thoughts on it so far were basically, damn, the thread seems to rip all the time. I don't know if it's really super better with that. So in the background, you'll see me kind of trying to operate my sewing machine for the first time. Meanwhile, we'll go over these lists. For my eyes, I thought like I can probably just like, have like the tube kind of with the black foam and then I need like some cover behind that, right, to like form the eyes. Yeah, for my eyebrows, I really don't know quite how they will work. I'd love to add like extra eyelets with magnets. For nose, I thought it would be cool to have a squeaker in there. It should probably be easy. Same with an NFC tag. If I could just, you know, put my phone on there and it opens my Telegram. Moving jaw was another thing, and I found like a really good tutorial to follow. Maybe I wanted to like add ventilation and maybe LED glowing eyes. These are big question mark. My dad is kind of good with like tech stuff. Also here the sketch, I did also change a bunch of stuff. Lots of changes, like to really go into detail. I just think in general it's like way nicer. But also added this one where I added like some lines, which hopefully I can just print that out, have it on paper, and kind of know what I'll have to cut out of foam. With that, I think that's all the preparations. And then we can like sort of actually start on the suit, huh? Crazy for me to say that. Alright, so first and foremost, we're gonna follow a tutorial from Honey Bear relatively closely. So right here I have like the elastic band, and I'm measuring it around, I have like 2 measurements, and I'm gonna just like add like 5 centimeters to each. She only like added a Velcro, which I have here, to one of the bands, the around the back. However, I wanna try out also having one below the chin. Actually, never mind about the 5 centimeter overlap. The old one is not here. This one has a bit more, because when I pulled it around my head, I thought like, hey, let's have a bit of a longer Velcro actually. So now we have like around 11 centimeter overlap. I think I'm gonna like fold the ends and just sew over that if I can. Alright, next day. This is what I left off with last night following the tutorial. So at the back and the chin, the Velcros are gonna be. So I already tried that on my own head as well. It fits, it's a little tight. So now I need to like sew that, and I already like tried to run with it a little bit today. The thing is, this ain't looking great. This, I don't know what's going on, man. I have the machine exactly set up like in the video. I'm guessing that the machine is different that they have. Wish me luck. For now though, we'll have to like walk the dog. Look at him. Yeah, you wanna go out, right? Walkies? Yeah? Gussie? Yeah? Yeah? You wanna go? Yeah, so we'll do that and then we'll see you guys in the next segment. And I had this machine open. I can like show some images because it had like an issue where it like always kind of got stuck. It's like this thing always seems to get stuck. It seems to do like always 3 stitches, and then on the 3rd one just like gets stuck. We even tried to like oil it again and stuff, but it just seems to be stuck and lost. So I ordered a new one. I found one relatively cheap for 80 bucks. I really hoped I could save on that money. Meanwhile, this one is later for foam cutting, electric knife. You know, the glue gun, very important. Got one that I also saw another maker use. I don't want to really wait on the sewing machines, so I'm already kind of starting on different stuff today. The kind of thing left drawn, the base, then hopefully kind of cut out these pieces in the right sizes out of paper. And then I can, you know, cut out a foam. We'll see how that works. Wish me luck. So I've got all these pieces now. I've got like here from the nose, front and side. Then this is the lower jaw. And then I got like the upper muzzle. I'll need to layer 2 on top of each other, and then I can hopefully like model these out of it. I've never worked with this kind of foam or really like cutting something out of a solid block. That's hot. Alright, so next day, this is kind of what I left off with. I did a little bit more of a fine tuning, especially like on the inside. Right there, I think I cut off like maybe a bit too much. But it's really hard to like cut the inside and make it roundish.
Next, I think I'm gonna tackle the nose, and I thought like this is the piece that was actually like in here. I thought maybe it's enough for the nose. Alright, so that worked, I'd say. Plan was basically to draw around that shape. Within that circle, I'm gonna just make it flat, just so the nose sits a little bit more in the muzzle, you know? There's some more cutting and fiddling around. I think it sits onto the nose or the muzzle pretty nicely. And also, like, maybe the nose seems a little bit big. The nose is gonna have super thin fabric, but meanwhile, the muzzle might just like have this bit of a extra for first two foam pieces. Awesome. Did some more sewing with both machines, the old one and the new one. I got all the ends tied up so they don't like become loose, and also got these cross sections now. I just need velcros on these, and then I should be good to go. Alright, for the velcros, I'd say like 8 centimeters is probably pretty generous. Did attach 2 velcros, and I've tried that on. It seems a little short now, which, you know, kind of defeats the point of the velcros, because then you can't really adjust it for different sizes heads if I'm already like all the way at the end of it. So I might have to redo the whole thing.
So following that, I basically redid that whole thing. I cut new straps, I sewed them together, and I attached the velcros. However, as you can see, the sewing with the sewing machine didn't go quite as planned. I fricked up a needle, and I kind of gave up on the whole sewing machine. Me and the sewing machine don't get along, and pretty much I think from here I did everything per hand on the head. I don't know, I had so much figuring out with the machine that was just pretty unmotivating, and then I just did it by hand. So it's slow, but it's at least steady progress.
Alright, so I got this all done, right? And then yeah, we got these parts, right? The top and bottom. Hello. So yeah, now I need to somehow attach this. The problem I'm seeing though, I need this bit to be a lot longer to like, you know, attach here somehow. Have like another block attached, and then I can model that to be the form I need. It's a really complicated way of saying I'm extending this piece. Actually, quick side note while I'm like working on it, I saw there was like a Fursuit making Reddit, and in the pinned post I saw like, hey, it's actually recommended to wear a mask while working with foam and or fur. So yeah, wear a mask. It's good. So it's looking funky, but it should definitely do the job. It's like a bit more round. I'm however noticing the muzzle seems from the front a lot longer height-wise. I can maybe get like a photo in here and post. Yeah, I think I'm gonna like shorten it a little bit. I think it's just all fitting a little bit nice. I put the nose slightly higher. I cut a little bit from the bottom. What I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna extend this bottom piece of the jaw as well, and then I'm gonna see how I can maybe attach this stuff to like, you know. Alright, so I made some marks with red marker on these bits to see where it should sit. I hope it's good. Like overall the muzzle seems a bit big. Could also be just because the rest of the head is missing, you know. So I already kind of fucked up, and it was kind of like glued on a little bit uneven. I'm gonna like scrape some of this off and glue it on better. Gonna look like super silly right now, but it's kind of working. Like right now the moving jaw is not super reactive, but if I like fully open up my jaw, it's doing it. I'm pretty sure it's gonna like do it well. Or if like a little bit, if I look straight, there's like, my eyes are kind of obscured, so I have to look a little bit down. So I might like trim. But yeah, this is big progress, man. Uni is getting more and more between me and the suit. Me staring at this for a while as well and just thinking. So my chin is actually like out of this a little bit. I could just in general have the muzzle down a little bit, which not only gives it a little bit more stretch in opening, also makes it so, you know, this actually is on the same level, like the chin of the suit and mine. And I also can see better, like, you know. So this means, in turn, that I have to like fully detach these parts again, which I don't like, but I guess that's what I gotta do. So here it is. Yeah, it's basically just glued on. I did it with like safety pins, you know, pinning it into position, trying it on, moving it ever so slightly, trying it on. Eventually I got it to a pretty good position. Jaw's definitely moving. I feel like, you know, the top needs to be like fixated a bit more for it to work, because I already feel like when I wear this a little bit and talk with it and breathe with it, there's air collecting. But yeah, now I can like view on top of it. This is on one level. It's been forever for me. Like I had my semester, that's why I barely had time to really work on this. Yeah, there hasn't been any changes. We're still at this stage. Maybe I'll just start with like, you know, the rest of the face, like the upper face. So I'm thinking, just have that in the face somehow. Gotta cut in the eye holes. A bunch of cutting later, I have like these two pieces now, which are gonna be for the cheeks. And then we have this piece sort of, which like really starts to give it form. Hot gluing this like kind of house piece that I made onto it for the cheeks. Progress. Alright, so I'm deciding to just glue on more pieces and hope for the best. A bit odd that I already have this like this detailed, like this is done. Well, you know, the rest, I don't know how big the rest is, right? So this should have probably done less details, just like move on to more pieces more quickly, but yeah. You know, there's bound to be some mishaps, and I think this was like sort of one of them already. In general, the eye has to be just slightly more down if possible. We basically got this like very roughly modeled on, but yeah, I can just mold this hopefully, like cut it everywhere. Alright, new day. It's the 2nd of July now. Fine, sadly Pride Month is over, but we're still on this. Already started a little bit, as you can see with the chipwork here. I thought that like from the side it's looking pretty good, right? But like from the front I found it like a little bit too round and stuff. Hopefully can make it like into some nice looking shape. You might notice some lines on him right now. I think the muzzle's like too wide. I'm gonna have to like make it a bit thinner compared to my sketch. It should not be as wide as the eye, but instead like the muzzle should kind of end where the eye still is. It's time for an intermission, because now we actually got the fur, and I think it's pretty obvious where it's coming from. I looked at some others, but like they really had like colors I also liked, I guess. This is kind of exciting. Kind of peeking here. Oh, there's the fur, and here I have some of the minky for the nose. Ooh, this is exciting, but like I'll unpack it like fully. Like they delivered a spider with this. Hello little guy. I guess I'll put you outside, and then you made quite the travel. Alright, the little guy's gone, and if we look at this, here we have the actual colors. I mean, I feel like the main color is the one that's like kind of off the most, but I think that's like still pretty accurate. I still really like the color, like even if it's not like super duper accurate to my Sona, how I always drew it. Like, you know, digitally you can like pick any color. Here you're a bit more limited, and yeah, I think this is still just a really nice tone, and I'm excited to, you know, see where this is going. And now it is time for ears. Already kind of like marked a little bit right here. Basically ears are about the same height as like the whole head. Also, I don't know how thick I should do this. I might, like, this is taking up, it will probably take up a lot of foam. But I do think that I might want to have 2 layers of this on top of each other, so I have like more room to really like work in a curve. I ended up doing it slightly different. I cut like out a paper piece, and I'd say this is fine. Suit ears are rather big, and like on my reference also made it rather big. And similar to like paper or cardboard cutouting, I just try to save as much material as possible here. I hope I can cut it out this way. We'll see. Alright, there's the first ear kind of in shape. I mean, there can probably be some more fine-tuning, but should be good. Gotta do that with the other one too.
And that I did. And you can also see how it looks like on the head. I cut the muzzle a bit more to shape. I think it's like nice and round. The ears I think are also a bit too big. I had it like briefly pinned onto it. It was like looking more bat-like. I'll make him smaller. Maybe also the tips slightly more round. I've thought they're like a little pointy when looking at it. Cut the sides now into a shape that also looks a bit nicer from the front. You know, more of a cheek happen. A lot of hours later, I'm now somewhat more happy with it. It's a lot more round looking. I made the ears small, like I said, right? They're like sitting a bit closer. Like I cut off a lot at the beginning of them, and like I shaved off a little bit of this side. Yeah, I'm also really happy with the shave down of the nose. Yeah, from the front there's a lot more cheek now. There's like a lot more area here. I love it so much more. Hello chat. I plan to make a video out of it. I guess the stream is making it in for the stream. This is so far what I've got. Wanna like kind of finish the head base today if possible. I've checked this with the reference that I had. If I compare this with the base, I feel like I deviated a lot. So here we have the front, right? I do like the side, though I guess like in general the muzzle is shorter on the reference here. I want the ears to like perk up a bit more. Cutting a little bit into this, adding extra foam so it like points up a bit more. I'll need a bit more material probably on the eyes, thinking of like eye sockets and 3D eyes. I'll need a little bit more depth than what I've got going on right here. To tackle two issues, the muzzle being too long and also not there being a lot of depth for the eye sockets, I'll add extra material like on the forehead, like the front of the face. I'd love to like add vents and having like not 4 centimeters thick of foam right in front of your ears will hopefully make it so I can hear better while in the suit. Covered by like a little bit of like a mesh. And then just the fur on top of that. And I'm gonna do the same kind of mesh thing to like cover this thing. Just making a small incision right here. Don't be alarmed. Fill these triangles here. Just creative like that. I might just leave the face like that for now. Instead, I might like work on cutting in vents now. I spin it like a basketball. See you guys around. It's been awesome. Love you all. Like pretty much everybody just coming in here is like friends and that I know and stuff, and I super appreciate that. It's like so lovely. Thank you so much. And that is the foam base basically done, and also this first part of the video. Watch out for the comments and description for part 2. Be linked there if it's already out, which will probably take a little while. I'm sorry. I think this was good progress. I didn't work on it all the time. There were some days that I skipped, hence why the days sometimes skip forward a little bit as well. With about a month to spare, we now have to do the lining and furring and the eyes and stuff, which may or may not end in a bit of a time crunch, but yeah. For that, watch out for part 2. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next one. Bye bye, bye bye, bye bye.